Hi guys, my name is Saurabh. I like to make content on cloud DevOps, Kubernetes in general. So in today's video, I like to make a demonstration of a tool which is called kubectl. It will help whoever learning for Kubernetes management, Kubernetes administrator, for example CKA for certified Kubernetes administrator, certified Kubernetes administration and developer, and this is the tool which help the user for the hassle-free creating of the cluster with a breeze. Okay, so let me just log into the portal and let me just show you how this thing actually look like. So I have logged into my portal. So this portal will actually look like something like this. So you can able to create the cluster in this application in this portal. So let me just demonstrate to you how can you be able to create the cluster and how can you be able to access the cluster as well. Okay, for example, if you type new cluster and I'm here, there are some options will be relied on. If you want single control plane or HA, which is high availability control plane, so everything, and so both the section I will demonstrate to you. I will demonstrate first thing the single HA. So let me just type it here, development cluster. Okay, and now I'm hopping for one worker only. So I'm right now using one worker, and I'm installing this metric server add-ons itself, and later on I will see I will demonstrate to you how can able to install more add-ons. Okay, so let me just hit the create cluster. So this will create the cluster for you, and you have to wait for some time, and I will show you how you can able to do that, how you can able to view all the metrics. So you can say you go to my cluster, and it will generate the entire manifest for you, entire cluster for you, and you can able to access your cluster in a pretty easily manner. Okay, so this platform is generally used for creating the cluster, managing the cluster, and straight away practicing and deploying application on Kubernetes rather than deploying upon the infra, or rather than mentioning the hassle frees or hurdles of the infrastructure itself. Okay, so you just have to focus on the Kubernetes part. You just have to focus on the deployment of your application part. Rest of the infra part will be handled by this portal only. This will be this application only, web application only. Okay, so it will be very easy for developers, for stakeholders. Okay, so yeah, let me just wait for this couple of seconds. So I will show you. I will show you all the use cases. Okay, all the possible use cases which Kubernetes is actually rely on. So let me just wait for this thing. So I hope I have one control plane, one workers, and the standard size of the worker is the node size of the worker is standard. Later on, depending upon your use case, you can able to scale down or scale up your node size as well as your worker. I will show you to you in a right away. Okay, just wait for this cluster to be provisioning properly. So your control plane is working, waiting for your worker. So your control plane is working properly. Let me just go to the terminal and let me just see. It's still no. The cluster is still not up yet. So we have to wait for a little while. So one control plane is up, and we have to wait for the another worker node to be added and then join into the control plane. Okay, so right now it is applying configuration to the worker. Okay, so you will see one worker is created, one worker it is in creating state. Okay, now if let's just say if the worker is in a creating state, so how we can able to do that, let me just show you to you in a right away. Okay, now the cluster is installed, and now it is installing the metric server. Okay, you will see the cluster is properly installed right now. Okay, if you go to the my cluster, you will see the section is ready. Okay, now go to the my cluster, and you will see there are a couple of options you can be able to use. You can download the kubeconfig file and load into your local terminal, and you can able to access your cluster right away, or if you want to, or if you don't want your own, you only want this application to manage all the thing, then I have a terminal window also. So this is the terminal window. It will open your application, and it will open a web terminal, which is a TTY, and give you all the workspaces for your management stuffs. Okay, for example, if you want to check the nodes, you can able to check the nodes. Right now it is not ready because there are some pods which is in a creating state, so we have to wait for this thing to work. Okay, so we have to wait for a couple of seconds. So the pods will be come up and spawn into these nodes, and my node will be in a ready state. Okay, so let me just wait for this thing to be up and running. So yeah, you will see my control plane is ready, and my worker node is also ready, I guess. So let me just clear the screen and check kubectl get nodes. You will see my control plane and my worker nodes are ready properly. Okay, and if you want to get the pods, you can able to do that. Okay, you can able to see the core DNS and metric server is working properly, and my all the pods are running. I can able to access my cluster from this web terminal itself, and I don't have to deal with my local kubectl and K9s, or I don't have to install anything on my system, on my laptop itself. Directly I can able to access from the cluster only. Now if you want to access check the nodes, you can able to do that. I have some tips for the newly created newly peoples who are newly familiar with the Kubernetes. You can able to cluster info, API resources, all the pods, all the deployments, all the services, whatever the services you want to install, you can able to do that. Now let me just go to the cluster. Now let me just add on to the cluster itself. For example, if I want to add on some modules, okay. For example, if I want to add MetalLB load balancer, okay. So let MetalLB load balancer require a pool, IP address pool. So let me just give you IP address pool, which is 37, and starting range for 37 and ending range is for 49. Okay. Now let me just install the selected plugin. So it will install the it will going to install MetalLB. You will see installing MetalLB. If I go to my terminal, you will see if I go to the kubectl get pods -a-o wide. So you will see MetalLB load balancer is it is in a creating state right now. MetalLB work in a controller and speaker kind of module, and so basically controller will be residing on your one node, and then speaker will be residing on your all the worker nodes. Okay, so in a couple of seconds, my control plane, my MetalLB load balancer will going to be installed into my cluster, and I can use service type load balancer in this cluster itself, and without any hassle I am installing all the applications, all the modules, all the add-ons, and I don't have to deal with the manifest thing and all the thing. It is a one click kind of go. Okay, now let me just go to the here, and it's still in a creating state, so we have to wait for the couple of seconds to my speaker to be up and running properly, this one. So we have to wait for this thing. So now one speaker is running, and I have to wait for the another speaker to also running. Yeah, this is also running, and I should have the in couple of seconds the MetalLB is installed properly. Now if I have successfully installed the MetalLB, let me just install an application, and let me just how can able to install any application and expose into a load balancer. For example, go to the kubectl. Let me just minimize this thing and disconnect. Let me just go to the application sets, and if I go to install Argo CD, which is a GitOps tool, let me just install the selected plugin. So it will install Argo CD for my application, for my cluster. Let me just go to here, and let me just check the namespaces first. So you will see one Argo CD is installed, and kubectl get pods -n Argo CD. You will see Argo CD is installing right now in my cluster, and once the Argo CD will going to be installed, I can able to access the Argo CD from the user interface only. Okay, I don't have to go to the terminal and see what are the steps, what are the things it is actually residing. Now let me just wait for the Argo CD plugin to be installed properly. Parallelly, I am going to be checking from this install for in the terminal section. So if let's just say everything is working as expected or not. Okay, so Argo CD Redis secret is installed properly. Now it will deploy multiple application sets, multiple CRDs. For example, repo server. For example, application controller. For example, auth, dex server, etc., etc. Which is if you work on Argo CD part, you will have you will have the understanding of what each component actually doing. Okay. So Argo CD is in still installing phase. Yeah, it is installed properly. Now let me just see. Once you install Argo CD, you will have the particular application URL details here. Copy this detail, go to here and paste this thing. You will see probably some unsecured thing. So let me just go to the HTTPS and you will see Argo CD is installed properly. Okay, now let me just copy this admin user, copy this thing. Let me just copy this thing. Let me just copy this one. Signing. You will see you have successfully installed into Argo CD and you can able to deploy your application using Argo CD itself. Okay, I'm not going to show you, but the installation thing of the Argo CD, because that is not a part of this video. I just here to show you that how can you easily install application using this portal itself. Now, if I want to install Nginx ingress controller, I can able to easily install that. Okay, let me just go to here. Let me just show you to you. kubectl get namespace, kubectl get all -n ingress nginx. You will see. You will see how the Nginx controller will be going to be installed, and the Nginx whenever you are going to install Nginx control plane, Nginx as an ingress controller, Nginx will use a load balancer section as a service type load balancer and give you IP address where you configure all your routes. Okay, so if let's just say if an ingress is properly installed, then if this IP you are saying that 192.168.138, so it will see something. It should be going to be see some user interface or some Nginx hello world page kind of thing, which will residing that the Nginx is properly installed and for easy to work. Okay, you will see this is properly working. So it is this IP, this load balancer is redirecting to my Nginx pod, so it is working properly. Okay, now the Nginx part has been done, the application set installation has been done, and yeah, it is good to go. Now if let's just see if the user want to expand the cluster, if the user want to add a worker nodes, how can able to do that? Let me just go to +2 or +3 depending upon the use case. Apply scale. So it will scale the cluster, it will add the worker nodes. You can able to easily scale your entire cluster. Okay, so let me just go to here, kubectl get nodes -a-o wide -watch. So right now you will see I have only one worker node. You will see I have one only control plane and one worker node only. Now in couple of minutes all my two worker nodes will going to be added into the existing cluster, and I can able to deploy stuffs on that worker node as well. Okay, so let me just wait for this thing to be done. You will see right now my cluster, it is in scaling mode. Okay, scaling set. Right now my another worker will going to be join in this cluster in a pretty easy or go manner. So we have to wait for this thing. So we have to wait for this thing to be, yeah, you will see my another worker node is adding to my cluster. You will see here the current logs and metrics of the, yes, yeah, you will see I have successfully added one worker node, which is this one 176, which is installing 25 seconds ago, and one another worker node which is which will be going to be installed in a couple of minutes as well. So I probably have three worker nodes, okay, depending upon the size. You will see right now I have one only, so but probably we will going to have a three. Okay, so I think, yeah, no, so desired worker node is three. So let me just see that 239, yeah. So one worker node is also going to be created, and it will going to be added into this thing. Okay, so 239 is going to be added in a pretty thing, and yeah, you will see my worker node is going to be added into the cluster. I can able to deploy stuffs on top of the worker node as well. Okay, so let me just stop this thing. Okay, so let me just go to the application, and yeah, so right now I have successfully scaled my cluster properly. Now this is for your single tier kind of application, where you have only one control plane, and you can able to create add workers, and you can able to deploy stuff on top of that. But if let's just say if your staging and development kind of cluster work is done, and now if you want to go for actual stuff, for example for production, so for that what we need, that we need a high availability, we need a multi control plane kind of structure, where multi control plane will be resided, and so we can able to access the failover kind of scenarios. Okay, so let me just create the new cluster. Let me just see let me just click to here, which is called high availability and production cluster. Let me just add one worker node only, and let me just disable all this stuff, because I don't need that right now. Let me just install the metrics only. I can able to tackle that. So right now the three control plane will be going to be created. One floating IP will be assigning to that particular control planes. So if let's just say one control plane going to be down, even though we can able to access the cluster, okay, we will going to be do this thing. We will going to be do this in practical. We will going to be fail over the stuff as well. Okay, let me just go to let me just go to here only, create the cluster button, and you will see one production cluster will going to be created, and so this is my IP address, which is 135. Okay, so this is the particular IP address, which is a floating IP address, which is a virtual IP address. Okay, VIP. This is called VIP. Okay, this IP address, which is called 192.168.1.35, will be corresponding to all those three control plane, which will be backside of that IP of this IP. Okay, let me just ping to this and see if let's just say this IP is pinging or not. So it will not, because my control plane is not active right now. So we have to wait for this thing. We have to wait for this back control plane to be up properly. So right now only one control plane is up as per now. So we have to wait. Okay, so there will be three control plane will be going to be created and added to the cluster only. Okay, so let me just wait for this thing to be done. And yeah, meanwhile, once the cluster is provisioning, let me just show you some more functionalities. If let's just say if I go to the open terminal window, and if I want to access the full screen, I can able to do that. It will be a pretty good thing, pretty much easy for the cluster accessible itself. I have installed all the common terminals tool, which will help the Kubernetes management administrator guy. For example, Nano for text editor, for example Vim for VI editor, for example kubectl, for example helm, and for example K9s. If you using terminal user interface, which is called K9s, so he has pretty good options for managing his cluster. Okay, so yeah, I hope he will going to be so whoever is going to be use this platform will going to be a pretty breeze experience of managing their own cluster. Okay, now if I go to the control plane, if you will see yeah, this is a production cluster. Yeah, it is a development cluster. Go to the production one. Let me just see what is the current status as of now. So right now two control plane is only second control plane is active, and you will see, yeah, you will see my virtual IP is right now is pinging 135. So my virtual IP address probably going to be assigning to this control plane, which is created in the first manner. Okay, which is this one. So let me just remember this one. So whenever we have to fail over this thing, so we have to shut down this server. We have to shut down this server for checking the high availability concept. Okay, you will see my IP address is properly pinging. So I have successfully managed the floating IP concepts. Okay, so I think I'm getting some issue right now here. So public network was 251.969 port. I guess there are some issue in this thing. So let me just see. Okay. Understand. So basically, the issue is the control plane IP address is going to be used that IP address which should be not. Okay, let me just go to here. Let me just delete this instance. Let me just delete this cluster only, because this cluster is using a damage IP address, which is 251, and that 251 IP address, it is actually deciding for the server only. Let me just delete this thing parallelly. Go to delete option, go to immediately delete. So I have to wait. I will adjust this application to not to use that particular stale IP address which is residing for the router itself. That's why the cluster is not provisioning. Let me just refresh this thing. Okay, I hope that 251 IP address is blocked from that one. Let me just go to the network. Let me just go to the floating. Go to the ports section, and let me just see that 251 is still there or not. No, it is not there, I guess. Let me just open all the pages. 251. Let me just go to the 251. Let me just find it. 251. Okay, so this is there. So let me just delete the interface. The interface is successfully deleted right now. Let me just refresh this thing. Let me just go to the cluster, and let me just let me just create a new cluster. Go to production cluster, high availability I want to use. I want metric server only. I want 1 or 2 worker nodes only, and create cluster. So in this application, only one downside it is which I'm encountering, that it is from the DHCP, it is taking that 251 IP address, which is a stale one, which should be not in our case. But yeah, it's not a big of issue, because we will able to fix that. We will make sure the application not to use that IP address in the upcoming releases. But as a user, you won't feel any hindrance about that. You will not going to be impact this thing. Okay, so right now my new floating IP, which is 33. Okay, which is 33, and we have to constantly monitor that our nodes is properly creating, and I can able to create access my cluster as well. Okay, let me just go to my terminal, and let me just ping to the 33 IP address, and let me just see that it is pingable or not. You will see the ping is come up. So my floating IP address, my floating IP, or you can say my virtual IP, is properly associated with my control plane 1, my first control plane, and it will going to be create my second control plane as well, so I can able to distribute the workload and distribute the Kubernetes environments. Okay, so it is right now creating the second control plane. Let me just see that what is the IP of the second control plane will be. Let me just go to my OpenStack, and I will see that what is the IP address of the second control plane. Go to the compute, go to the instance. So this is 101. So it is fine only. Let me just disable all the unnecessary. So it is creating 101. Okay, the control plane of the control plane of the my second control plane is active right now, and it will create the third control plane and join them. So to make it a cluster, to make it a highly available cluster. So it is creating the third one, which is 152 in IP address. So you will see 152 in here. So yeah. So you will see in how easily we are going to we are creating entire cluster for HA, which is called high availability, in a pretty easy manner, and we will see all the pretty stuffs, all the deployment and all the application sets itself. You will see my control plane is properly active, and it will create my worker nodes right now. You will see creating a worker nodes, since I only required okay, so I desired for 2 worker nodes, so it will create 2 worker nodes. So 3 will be control plane and 2 will be worker nodes. So total 5 virtual machine will be going to be created. So it will take quite of time to bootstrap my entire virtual machines. Okay, so we have to wait for this thing, we have to wait for some time to my cluster to be properly up and provisioning. Thanks for your patience to see till now. So yeah, so you will see control plane is 3, which is called HA. Right now worker is 1 only, and this total number of count is 4 only, and in couple of seconds my entire cluster will be up and ready to go and join into the cluster, and we can able to access the terminal to manage the stuffs. So the last work is right now it is in a creating stage. Once this will be in a ready, we will surely have the my cluster is properly ready right now. Go to the terminal window. I have connected to the production cluster. Let me just kubectl get nodes -a-o wide. Bingo! I have 3 control plane. Okay, and 1 worker node, but I should be having 2 worker nodes. Let me just yeah, I have 2 worker nodes. Okay, right now it is a non-ready state. It will be, because right now it is in provisioning state. Kubectl get nodes -a-o wide. Wait for this thing. Yeah, it is so my every nodes is right now in ready state. I can able to deploy stuff. So you will see 1 control plane, 1 control plane, 1 control plane, which is a master node, and 2 worker node as required, as desired. Okay, so we have desired 3 control plane and 2 worker nodes. Okay, so total 5 nodes. So total 5 nodes is added right now, and we can able to deploy stuff. For example, kubectl run nginx -image nginx kubectl get pods. So let me just wait for this pod to be properly running. So right now it is in a container creating stage, and we don't know where kube scheduler will going to be deploy this nginx pod into worker 1 and worker 2, depending upon its mechanism. Okay, so if let's just say if I check kubectl logs nginx, so you will see nginx logs is properly active and my pod is running right now. If I check which node this is deployed, so let me just check that. So it will be on, sorry, not -a. You will see it is installing into 116, and 116 will be which node? Let me just check. 116 will be this one, which is okay. So the last worker 116. Okay, 116. This one, the last worker 2. Now let me just check what is the IP address of my cluster, of the virtual IP address, which is 192.168.1.33. Okay, this one. This is right now. Let me just go to ping, and I'm going to shut down this control plane 1, which is 134. which is 134. Let me just go to 134. This is the 134 IP address. Let me just stop the server. Bingo. Let me just open another terminal as well and copy 192.168.1.134 IP address. So it should be the ping should be down, since my server is shutting down. So in couple of seconds the ping should be down. Yeah, my ping is not working right now, and still you will see the failover has been occurred. You will see the ping is properly working, but in some couple of seconds the failover is happen in a very fast manner. The user unable to verify that, unable to see that's the beauty of the this platform, this high available platform. And you will see my one control plane is down. So technically I should have the cluster accessible still now. So let me just access the cluster. You will see I have disabled the cluster. So I have shut down the cluster, which is 134. Still I am able to access my cluster by the other nodes. Okay, by the other nodes, by the other control plane, which is this one and this one. Okay. So since you have the high available cluster, that's why you can able to easily handle the one. You can say the one failover, one control plane failover residence. Okay. Now, yeah. So I hope this platform is usable, is very useful for you. It will be useful for multiple vendors. Whoever want to use this application, kindly ping me, kindly contact with me. I will definitely give you the access, the tenant, the user portals, so you can able to deploy and learn stuff on your own. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Keep learning and keep on learning. Thanks.